As we enter a new era, renowned watchmakers have already started captivating enthusiasts and collectors alike with their newest creations. As we step into the new year 2024, the Swiss watch manufacturing company, Audemars Piguet, unveils its latest collection consist of 20 new timepieces, showcasing a blend of innovation, sophistication, and tradition. After so many ups and downs with significant developments and changes, the Code 1159 officially celebrates its 5th anniversary this year, and represents an important alternative shape to the Royal Oak. The 7 new references in this collection are presented in rose gold cases, with PVD-coated or galvanic-treated dials featuring the new stamped pattern with elongated, flattened, faceted, and polished 18-karat pink gold hour indices. The indices and rose gold hands are enhanced with luminescent material for optimal readability in low-light conditions. AP reports subtle changes made to the topography of the second scale and the shape of the crown to reinforce the modern style of the timepieces and align with the design introduced in 2023. Among the 7 new Code 1159 pink gold references, 2 offer time and date functionality within 38mm cases. These self-winding 38mm timepieces, with a voucher-based movement, stand out for their distinct dial colors and matching alligator leather straps. One variant showcases a luminous light blue dial paired with a pearly light blue alligator strap with large-scale squares. At the same time, the second boasts the signature blue Nuage 50 dial, a color that has long been the exclusivity of the Royal Oak Jumbo 39mm, and a pearly dark blue alligator leather strap. Both straps are secured with a gold pin buckle, and textured rubber straps in light blue or dark blue are also included for added versatility. Other standout models featuring the emblematic blue Nuage 50 inches colored and embossed dial, though with a gray inner bezel, are the self-winding 41mm and the self-winding Chronograph 41mm. The Chronograph, driven by automatic caliber 4401 with a flyback function, showcases a dial with 2 blue counters framed in gray at 3 and 9 o'clock, complemented by an all-gray sub-dial at 6 o'clock matching the color of the inner bezel. Initially introduced with the stainless steel models, green now graces the embossed dials and inner bezel rings of the pink gold cased Code 1159 self-winding 41mm and self-winding Chronograph 41mm. The self-winding Chronograph 41mm features green counters at 3 and 9 o'clock with pink gold rings, while the 6 o'clock sub-dial lacks the external gold zone. Specifications remain consistent across the series. The time and date 41mm is driven by caliber 4302, and the flyback chronograph is powered by caliber 4401. Both operate at 28,800 vibrations per hour and have a power reserve of 70 hours. Audemars Piguet rounds out the palette with a Code 1159 self-winding chronograph in a 41mm pink gold case with a black ceramic middle case and crown, boasting a black dial with a stamped motif and a black inner bezel ring. This model showcases black chronograph counters with external gold rings, a black small second sub-dial at 6 o'clock, and uniform pink gold applied hour markers and hands with luminescent material, ensuring a cohesive design throughout the series. All the new 41mm Code 11.59 pink gold models are worn on textured rubber straps in matching dial colors, closed with a gold pin buckle. While there have been time and date and triple calendar versions since the mid-1990s, the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore or ROO has always been primarily known as a chronograph watch. It was actually designed as such when it launched in 1993. In modern days, non-chronograph ROO watches were mostly known as the diver version, which was recently revamped. Well, things have changed because now there's a new time and date ROO, the sleekest to date, with the new Royal Oak Offshore self-winding 43mm. What we're looking at here is one of the rare Royal Oak Offshore models that does not feature a chronograph. In the current collection, most models are fitted with a chronograph complication, and other additional features, and only a handful of references have a simple time-only display. And it mostly has to do with the bold, sporty Royal Oak Offshore Diver, a 300 meters water-resistant watch with a 42mm case. It is now joined by another time and date model, this time even cleaner and not meant to host any additional function. The new Royal Oak Offshore self-winding is a follow-up to the modernized ROO models presented in 2021, mostly notable thanks to their contemporary take on the mega tapisserie pattern. These 43mm versions were, as you'd expect, fitted with a chronograph movement, And to be precise, the in-house integrated flyback caliber 4400 was first unveiled in the Code 11.59 chronograph. The new non-chronograph RU takes the same path with a movement that was first seen in the time and date code collection. Measuring 43 mm in diameter, we're talking about a large watch here, specifically since there's no additional function. This new RU time and date comes in a stainless steel case with brushed surfaces and polished bevels. The sporty look continues on the bezel, with a contrasting light blue color and, mostly, a blue rubber coating. Other than that, it's all classic with hexagonal screws on the bezel, the signature oversized tonneau shape of the RU collection and a large screwed crown protected by lateral guards. The thickness is 14.4 mm and the water resistance is 100 meters. This inaugural version of the Royal Oak Offshore Self-Winding 43 mm is presented with a textured dial with a contemporary take on the mega tapestry pattern. This new generation of texture is more detailed and more pronounced, bringing depth and playfulness. Here, it is presented in a smoked blue color with rhodium-toned gold trapezoidal-shaped hour markers and Royal Oak hands. The AP-only logo at noon emphasizes the already sleek look of this time and date version. Inside the case is the automatic, in-house caliber 4302, which was first presented in the Code 1159 self-winding models. This modern movement, visible under the sapphire back, beats at 4 Hz and stores a comfortable power reserve of 70 hours. It is nicely finished with coats de Genève, vertical, circular and sunray brushing, circular graining and polished chamfers, as well as a blackened 22K gold rotor. Like most modern versions of this watch, the new RU self-winding 43 mm is worn on an integrated rubber strap, color matched with the bezel and dial. Closed by a steel pin buckle, it is also equipped with a practical interchangeable strap system and an additional black rubber strap is also included. A preview of a new technology. During the product presentations, Audemars Piguet also had some workshops prepared for us. One of them was about a new technology called Spark Plasma Sintering (SPS). Without going into too much detail, this allows the designers to combine different tones of the same material. The fact that this sintering happens in a few minutes instead of several hours means there's a clear transition between the different tones. During the workshop, a preview was seen of what this new technology can achieve with, for example, ceramic. It's a pity the camouflaged offshore was only a prototype because the watch looked absolutely badass. It was also learned that this technology isn't just for mixing different tones of ceramic. AP can also use this process to sinter different types of gold with each other. As said at the beginning of the video by the Director of Communications for AP, in its latest venture, the brand introduces a novel 18-karat gold alloy labeled Sand Gold, a mix of solid gold with copper and palladium, unveiling a new variant of the Royal Oak self-winding flying tourbillon openwork chosen to showcase the unique aesthetic qualities of this material. The handsome monochromatic Royal Oak self-winding flying tourbillon openwork debuted in stainless steel in 2022 as part of Royal Oak's 50th anniversary celebrations. This timepiece featured Audemars Piguet's latest in-house 2972 caliber, an evolution of the caliber 2950 introduced in 2018 in the Code 1159 collection. The newly unveiled sand gold version introduces a distinctive aesthetic while retaining the iconic octagonal shape of the 41 mm case and an octagonal bezel with broad polished chamfers. Developed by Audemars Piguet, the sand gold toned galvanic color adorns the openworked bridges and main plate of the caliber 2972. In a harmonious composition, rather than stark contrast, the movement's inner workings feature rhodium-toned components, adding depth and sophistication to this exceptional timepiece. About the material itself, this 18-karat gold alloy is named sand gold due to its subtle color, wavering between white and pink gold. Composed of solid gold, copper and palladium, it results in a warm gray color or a very discreet gold tone, depending on the way you want to look at things, which is distinctive and surprisingly restrained, almost like the champagne color used for dials. It otherwise retains classic properties of gold alloys. Time is indicated with white gold hands with luminescent material filling. The applied white gold hour indices are lume-treated, too. Delving into the intricacies of the openwork movement reveals meticulous finishing executed to the highest standard. From satin to circular and sunray brushing, snailing, polished chamfers, to both vertical and horizontal brushing, every detail exudes top craftsmanship. Even before reaching the flying tourbillon at 6 o'clock, seamlessly integrated into the architectural construction, a wealth of captivating details awaits exploration. Turning to the caseback, the rhodium-toned pink-gold oscillating weight harmoniously augments the two-tone design of the watch, adding a refined touch. Caliber 2972 operates at 21,600 vibrations per hour and has a power reserve of 65 hours when fully wound. The Royal Oak bracelet, crafted from the innovative sand gold alloy, showcases a typical mix of brushed and polished surfaces. It is secured with an AP folding clasp. Like every year, the Swiss manufacturer presents a new variation of the Royal Oak self-winding chronograph in 41mm, crafted in 18-karat yellow gold. This design echoes the colors and materials introduced in 2022 with the Royal Oak Jumbo Extra Thin model unveiled for the collection's 50th anniversary. Applied to the yellow gold-toned Grande tapestry dial, the gradient effect contrasts with the gold counters of this self-winding chronograph, powered by the caliber 4401 with flyback function. Combining state-of-the-art mechanics with vintage-inspired yellow gold, this model offers a new, contemporary interpretation of the Royal Oak. The new model features a yellow gold-toned dial with a smoked gradation that creates depth, while intensifying the shimmer of the Grande tapestry. This signature pattern, formed of truncated pyramids, is first guilloché into the brass of the dial and then plated with 18-karat yellow gold in a galvanic bath. The smoked effect is achieved by spraying a black varnish from the edge of the dial towards the center, which is lighter. This operation is done by hand using a tool similar to a stylus and requires skill and dexterity to ensure a precise and subtle application. The three gold-toned counters, the hour counter at 3 o'clock, the small seconds at 6 o'clock and the 30-minute counter at 9 o'clock, stand out against the gradient dial. The applied hour markers, as well as the central hands, all crafted in 18-karat yellow gold and faceted, are highlighted with luminescent material. The minute scale is printed in white on the flat edge of the dial, whose black peripheral color contrasts with the yellow gold-toned inner bezel. The 24-karat gold Audemars Piguet signature, obtained by galvanic growth and electroplated with black rhodium, is affixed at 12 o'clock. An aperture between 4 and 5 o'clock completes the information on the dial by displaying the date in black on a yellow gold-toned background. Two date-only Royal Oak models in 34mm diameter have also been released, offering elegant looks. With warm shades of pink, the first 34mm Royal Oak self-winding model is offered with a case and bracelet entirely crafted in 18-karat pink gold. Finished with the manufacturer's trademark alternation of satin brushing and polished chamfers, the case and bracelet components foreground the warm hues of the pink gold alloy, while offering endless plays of light. The timepiece comes with a Grande tapestry dial showcasing a new vivid pink color obtained by atomic layer deposition (ALD). It is enhanced by pink gold applied hour markers and hands, filled with luminescent material for optimum legibility in the dark, as well as a corresponding applied gold, Audemars Piguet, signature at 12 o'clock. The window at 3 o'clock provides the date in black on a pink background matching the color of the dial. The minute scale and the Swiss-made indication at 6 o'clock are similarly printed in black on the pink tapestry. The second timepiece interweaves stainless steel with 18-karat pink gold, providing the watch with a contemporary two-tone aesthetic. While the case middle, case back and bracelet links are made in steel, the bezel, crown and bracelet studs are crafted in pink gold for a powerful contrast. The AP folding clasp, crafted in stainless steel, is similarly highlighted with a touch of pink gold. The different bracelet and case components are meticulously finished with satin brushing and polished chamfers, an alternation of finishes that plays with the light. The dial also displays a two-tone design with its gray PVD-coated Grande tapestry motif illuminated with pink gold accents. The hour markers, the hands and the Audemars Piguet signature, which has been achieved through galvanic growth, are all crafted in pink gold. To enhance visibility in dim light, the applied hour markers as well as the minute and hour hands are filled with a white luminescent material that turns green in the dark. Lastly, the minute track and Swiss-made indication are subtly printed in white on the tapestry's extremity, while the date appears in white on a similar gray background at 3 o'clock. The two new 34mm Royal Oak timepieces are powered by self-winding caliber 5800. This 4mm thick mechanical movement beats at a frequency of 4 Hz and has 50 hours of power reserve. The sapphire casebacks reveal the collection's dedicated 22-karat pink gold oscillating weight, as well as the refined finishing decorating the movement, including cotes de Genève, satin and sunray brushing, circular graining and polished chamfers. Audemars Piguet is pleased to unveil a new version of its Royal Oak Frosted Gold self-winding model, which comes in a 37mm case crafted entirely from 18-karat yellow gold. This new Royal Oak Frosted Gold self-winding model features a 37mm 18-karat yellow gold case and matching bracelet that have been entirely decorated with a hammered finish, giving the gold a sparkling effect. This decoration, renamed Frosted Gold by Audemars Piguet, is inspired by an age-old jewelry technique that originated in Florence. Reinterpreted by jewelry designer Carolina Bucci, this precision finish has been used on the Royal Oak collection since 2016. Tiny marks are chiseled into the surface of the gold using a diamond-tipped tool that gives the gold a shimmering effect. This finish, combined with the polished chamfers and satin-finished surfaces of the case and bracelet, highlights the watch's aesthetic codes while providing a captivating play on the light, which is further enhanced by the yellow gold. The golden dial matches the yellow gold of the case, further reinforcing the luminous aesthetic of the timepiece. This warm hue is obtained using a galvanic bath and is accentuated by the dial's sunburst finish. After coloring, a smoked effect is added to the dial with the application of a black spray varnish that creates a striking contrast with the yellow gold. The spraying is done entirely by hand with a tool similar to a pen, and requires great skill and dexterity to ensure a precise and refined finish. The smoked gradient is sprayed from the edge of the dial towards the center and out again. The result is a darker hue around the periphery, which gets lighter towards the center, without any visible line. The faceted yellow gold hour markers and Royal Oak hands are enriched with luminescent material for optimal legibility in the dark. They also stand out against the smoked gold dial. The second scale and the Swiss made mention are printed in white around the outside of the dial, creating a clear visual contrast with the darker part of the smoked dial. The date appears in black against a gold background at 3 o'clock, ensuring visual consistency with the rest of the dial. Lastly, the 24-karat gold Audemars Piguet logo, obtained by galvanic growth, has been electroplated with black rhodium and positioned at 12 o'clock. The Royal Oak Frosted Gold self-winding is equipped with caliber 5900, the manufacturer's latest self-winding hour, minute, seconds, and date movement, which first appeared in 2022 on certain 37mm models. This movement combines a slim 3.9mm thickness, a high 4 Hz frequency and a 60-hour power reserve. The mechanism is visible through the sapphire caseback, which reveals the 22-karat pink gold oscillating weight and the refined decoration on the components, such as polished angles, vertical satin brushing, cotes de Genève, circular graining, sunray finishing and chamfering. When Audemars Piguet's iconic Royal Oak turned 50 in 2022, the brand announced that the permanent range of Royal Oak models would be updated aesthetically and mechanically. With this in mind, the 37mm Royal Oak was one of the beneficiaries of the new design evolution, and reappears in 2024 in 2 luxurious editions in gold cases with a generous sprinkling of diamonds and gemstones. The 18-karat pink gold Royal Oak self-winding model is paved with 164 brilliant cut diamonds on the case, bracelet studs and AP folding clasp, while the bezel sparkles with 40 graded brilliant cut blue sapphires for a refined contrast. The play of light conferred by the gemstones is accentuated by the grande tapisserie dial mirroring the color of the sapphires in a shade of light blue. The timepiece comes with a matching light blue pearly alligator strap with large square scales, completing this elegant pastel aesthetic. The 18-karat white gold version encompasses a case, bezel, bracelet studs and AP folding clasp fully set with 204 brilliant cut diamonds for a unique shimmering effect. The timepiece incorporates a grande tapisserie dial in a light green hue and a corresponding pearly alligator strap with large square scales. Both timepieces feature 2-hour markers at 12 o'clock set with 8 brilliant cut diamonds. The other gold hour markers match with the case color and are filled with luminescent coating for optimum visibility in dim light. The case of each timepiece is meticulously finished with the manufacturer's trademark alternation of satin brushing and polished chamfers, conferring endless plays of light while highlighting the Royal Oak's multifaceted architecture. Both timepieces are powered by the latest generation caliber 5900 that indicates the hours, minutes, center seconds and date. The 3.9mm thick movement combines a high 4 Hz frequency and a 60-hour power reserve. The movement is also equipped with a 22-karat pink gold oscillating weight and is decorated with refined finishing including polished angles, vertical satin brushing, cotes de Genève, circular graining, sunray brushing and chamfering that can all be admired through the sapphire caseback. Now how can we expect a new year without a tourbillon watch from AP? Executed in stainless steel or 18-karat pink gold, these two 41mm references respectively feature a smoked burgundy sunburst dial and a dial in gray and ivory hues. The first of these two new models is entirely crafted in stainless steel for a sportier look. The gray of the steel is contrasted by a smoked burgundy dial. This vivid shade is achieved by applying a translucent tinted lacquer after decorating the dial with a sunburst finish to accentuate the color's radiance. Although simple in appearance, the combination of these finishes required extreme dexterity to fulfill the manufacturer's exacting standards. Matching with the watch's body of stainless steel and contrasting with the burgundy dial, the applied hour markers and royal oak hands are crafted in 18-karat white gold for optimum legibility. They respond harmoniously to the flying tourbillon cage at 6 o'clock that reveals some of the movement's rhodium-toned components as it completes its full rotation in 60 seconds, reducing the effect of gravity on the watch's accuracy. The second model presents a refined 18-karat pink gold case and bracelet, a precious material also found on the hour markers and royal oak hands, all enhanced by luminescent material. The timepiece is complemented by a two-tone dial, offering a soft visual contrast. The center of the dial displays a gray hue, achieved by galvanic deposition, while its sandblasting finishing adds a fine texture. The dial rim has an ivory color, playing subtly with the watch's gray and pink gold shades. These new Royal Oak models are powered by caliber 2950, a self-winding movement which combines a flying tourbillon with a central rotor. Measuring 6.2 mm in thickness, this mechanism operates at a 3 Hz frequency and has a power reserve of 65 hours. Visible on both sides of the watch, the hand-finished flying tourbillon cage offers an unobstructed view of some of the watch's regulating components. AP also unveils a new iteration of its Royal Oak self-winding flying tourbillon extra thin RD3 in 37 mm, for the first time executed in 18-karat white gold. The new 37 mm timepiece encompasses an extra thin 18-karat white gold case and bracelet providing rich plays of light. Both are finished with the manufacturer's trademark alternation of satin brushing and polished chamfers, thus engaging with the light like the facets of a diamond. In addition, the wide polished bevels of the case and the tapering links of the bracelet bestow it with a slender silhouette, while reinforcing its ergonomics. The 32 baguette-cut diamonds adorning the bezel furthers the luminous effect created by the watch's multifaceted architecture. Measuring 8.1 mm in thickness, this new timepiece is the thinnest gold model offered in the 37 mm Royal Oak collection. It owes its finesse to the Royal Oak Jumbo that inspired the aesthetic of the RD3 line, debuted in 2022 for the Royal Oak's 50th anniversary. For the occasion, Audemars Piguet took on the challenge to fit a flying tourbillon movement in a 39 mm jumbo case, a first as this complication was previously equipping models in 41 mm exclusively. It also pushed the limits of feasibility further by presenting this complication in an even smaller 37 mm case size, which also incorporated the Royal Oak Collection's design evolution introduced on 34, 37 and 38 mm models that same year. Just like the 37 mm steel RD3 version, the new Royal Oak self-winding flying tourbillon extra thin integrates several aesthetic elements of the jumbo dial. Similarly to 39 mm models, it encompasses a petite tapisserie, offered in a new smoked blue colorway. The blue shade is obtained by physical vapor deposition (PVD), whereas the smoked effect seen on the periphery is achieved by meticulously spraying black varnish while the dial is rotating. The color gradation evolving from the center outwards accentuates the moiré effect of the guilloche pattern. The dial's deep blue hues are countered by bright accents. Baguette-cut diamond hour markers echo the glowing bezel, while playing with the Royal Oak's strong lines in multiple facets. The bathtub-shaped white gold hands, reminiscent of the original Royal Oak, are filled with luminescent material aiding legibility in dim light. At 6 o'clock, the titanium flying tourbillon cage, in which pulsates the rhodium-toned balance wheel, adds the final touch. The timepiece is powered by the ultra-thin self-winding flying tourbillon movement, caliber 2968, measuring a mere 3.4 mm in thickness, which saw the light of day in 2022. This delicate, high-end complication counteracts the effects of gravity on the watch's accuracy. The balance wheel and escapement are housed in a tiny rotating cage that completes a revolution every minute to prevent their center of gravity from staying in the same orientation. Contrary to its tourbillon sibling, the flying tourbillon cage is only supported from below to leave the watch's beating heart unobscured on the dial side. It is considered today as a symbol of watchmaking art, as only a few expert watchmakers retain the skills required for its production. The Royal Oak Jumbo Ultra Thin Openwork model pays tribute to the aesthetics of the first Royal Oak from 1972, characterized by its sporty look and stainless steel body. Already presented in pink gold, yellow gold and steel, the 39mm collection expands today with a model in white gold. Today, this new openwork model boasts a case and bracelet crafted entirely from 18-karat white gold. The edges of the bezel, the case and each link of the bracelet are mirror polished, while their other surfaces are vertically satin finished, thus creating alternating matte and shiny finishes, Audemars Piguet's signature design. The movement has been treated in different shades of anthracite gray that contrast with the color of the case to highlight the meticulous openwork. To provide optimum legibility, the watch's inner bezel is slightly darker than the movement. It is complemented by white gold hour markers that offer a subtle contrast with the treatment applied to the caliber 7124. This theme is repeated on the back, with a rhodium-toned gold oscillating weight, which has also been finished with alternating polished and satin finishes. The oscillating weight is also openwork to reveal the details of the movement, and the timepiece has a 57-hour power reserve. It's no secret that Audemars Piguet has long been involved with celebrities and influential people from the world of music. It usually goes well beyond ambassadors, and AP has launched several watches in collaboration with musicians. Now, it's time for a collaboration with artist and famous watch collector John Mayer, who has decided to bring a fresh, modern take on the classic Tuscan dial perpetual calendar. Meet the new Royal Oak Perpetual Calendar, John Mayer, limited edition 26574 BC, a watch that also has historical importance. What we're looking at here is nothing groundbreaking at first sight. In most aspects, this John Mayer limited version of the Royal Oak Perpetual Calendar is identical to the permanent collection models we've covered here. What matters has to do with the dial, its texture and its influences. And besides the collaboration theme, AP has decided that it was time to say goodbye to its beloved perpetual caliber 5134, which is still based on the classic caliber 2120, itself now discontinued. First, the watch. John Mayer, a longtime friend of the brand and avid watch collector, has decided to give the Royal Oak Perpetual Calendar his own touch in a way that will certainly please more than a few collectors. The idea, potentially, was to bring a contemporary take to one of the brand's most classic and coveted versions of the Royal Oak Perpetual, the Tuscan dial. This grained, once hand-hammered texture has been seen on multiple watches in the past and was primarily released in the 1990s and has remained a rare sight, used on Royal Oak Perpetual calendars, on one particular Royal Oak Jumbo model and on a variety of classic perpetual calendars. Here, however, Mayer went for something different, far more contemporary but nevertheless pretty impressive. While the Tuscan connection isn't clearly mentioned by the brand, we certainly can't deny it. What Audemars says about the dial is that it was designed to evoke the vastness of the skies. Named Crystal Sky, this dial is obtained thanks to a stamped process. The brass dial plate is finished with a new scintillating pattern, composed of irregular shapes resembling crystals, whose sharp angles and facets add relief and brilliance to the piece. Achieving that level of detail with a stamped dial is, however, no easy task. The stamping die was created atom by atom through a metal deposition process known as electroforming. The rest of the Royal Oak Perpetual Calendar John Mayer retains a certain classicism with very discrete, unique features. The dark blue dial, a signature color of the Royal Oak, is obtained thanks to a PVD process used to preserve and enhance the depth of the pattern. The recessed sub-dials are identical to all classic versions of the Royal Oak Perpetual Calendar with a fine snailed pattern and the same PVD coloring. The display still consists of the day at 9 o'clock, the month and leap year at 12 o'clock and the date at 3 o'clock, as well as the moon at 6 o'clock with an Aventurine background. The dial is framed by the original week number display. What sets this John Mayer version apart is the use of a light blue central week hand and a special touch on the date indicator. The red 31 indication has been replaced by a white one, and the two numerals of the 31 are now smaller in size and slightly stepped to distinguish them from the adjacent one. For the rest, the watch is classic, 41 mm diameter by 9.5 mm thickness, white gold case with brushed and polished surfaces, classic Royal Oak shape and a limited water resistance of 20 meters. The bracelet is also identical to previous non-limited editions. The sapphire caseback is screwed and engraved with Royal Oak Quantum Perpetual and limited edition of 200 pieces. Inside this Royal Oak Perpetual Calendar John Mayer is the caliber 5134. Nothing special, or so you might think. In fact, while the movement is the same as other Royal Oak Perpetual Calendar models, this John Mayer version will be the last limited edition equipped with the self-winding Perpetual Calendar 5134. After the introduction of white ceramic, one of the most sophisticated materials used in watchmaking, in the Royal Oak offshore lineup, in 2019, AP decided to take it to level further by adding this intricate material to one of their most complicated watches, the Royal Oak Perpetual Calendar in white ceramic. After being one of the most elusive Audemars Piguet watches, the ride seemed to be stopped until 2023 when the first classic Royal Oak made its debut in white ceramic with a case diameter of 34 mm. As we know, at the beginning of January there was a huge and pretty much a heartbreaking change was made inside the Maison to welcome the next. Our beloved François-Henri Benamias's journey as the CEO came to an end. But, wait, is it possible that a brand like AP would let its decade-old friend leave without something special? The answer is perhaps no. Without digging much deeper, after almost 2 days of AAP's 2024 Semester 1 novelties release, something suspicious appeared on their website. A white ceramic perpetual calendar watch with a purple dial. Now from the viral photos found on the internet you can tell that it's not a regular white ceramic perpetual calendar with a purple dial, rather something more special as it carries the name of the former CEO. What do you think?